Hey, Yanni here. Today we're talking about purchasing multifamily properties. A multifamily property is a single property building that has two or more units. So I wanted to bring Mike Ullmann from Movement Mortgage because a lot of clients, a lot of people have asked me how to purchase multifamily units and things of that sort. So I wanted to bring Mike to kind of talk about the ins and outs and how it's different and I guess talk how to go about purchasing multifamily units. So I guess first and foremost, Mike, what do you describe, what do you define as a multifamily unit?
Okay, a multifamily unit is a property that's legally 2 families or more for the purposes of a residential loan, a residential mortgage. That's going to be speaking to someone like myself who does residential mortgages. That's going to be a property between 2 and 4 units. Any more than 4 units, you're now going to deal with a commercial mortgage.
Okay. So again, there's a totally different thing. Up to 4, you can use a standard mortgage, and then above 4, commercial lending, which tends to be a little bit, I would think, a little more complicated than a standard residential.
Sure, it would require larger down payments, and the qualifications are going to be very different than a residential property.
Yeah. So I guess when somebody buys, what's the benefit of buying a multifamily property?
There's multiple benefits. First and foremost, from a loan limit standpoint, in DC, for example, where there's many multi-unit properties, the loan limits are much higher. A standard loan limit in DC is $636,150. On a 2 to 4 unit, those limits go up to north of $800,000 for a 2-family, almost $1 million on a 3-family, and over $1.2 million on a 4-family. So first and foremost, the loan limits are higher. Second, the best benefit of a multifamily home, you can rent out the second, third, fourth unit, live in the first unit, and use that rental income to supplement your mortgage, or in some cases pay your entire mortgage. So it's the best of both worlds. You can live in a home, but also have an investment property at the same time, and they're all connected to one another.
So it pretty much leverages. So like that you count the other, the income that would come out of the other units if you were living in one and renting out the other ones to qualify that person.
Absolutely, it creates a lot more leverage for a client who's looking to qualify for as much as possible. The perfect example, if you're buying a 2-family home, you're gonna live in one unit and the other unit is gonna rent out for $2,000 a month. We're gonna give you credit for 75% of that $2,000, and therefore you just created additional income of $1,500 a month that you can use to offset your mortgage and in turn qualify for a larger mortgage.
I guess another question would be, is there a difference between, financing a single family home versus a multifamily property, or how you go about that? Or
yes, that's a great question. From a pre-qualification standpoint, it's very similar. However, in terms of the loan programs and down payments, there are some differences when you're purchasing a multifamily home versus a traditional single family. For FHA, they are very similar. The down payment is still the minimum, which is 3.5%. However, if you're jumping into a conventional loan is going to be for someone with better credit, say 680 and up. The rules for multifamily are a little bit different. The down payment amounts increase. For a 2-family, you're going to have to put down a minimum of 15%. For a 3-4 family, depending on whether you do a loan with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, you may have to put down 20 or 25%. So to recap, for an FHA loan, the down payment, the loan limits, they're very similar. For a conventional loan, there are differences.
Okay. And I guess if somebody is seeking to purchase a multifamily property, how do they start? And again, is there a difference?
Okay, so the pre-qualification or the pre-approval stage is very similar. You speak to an agent, as well, you speak to a loan officer, you get an idea of what you qualify for. The main difference is, if you're speaking to a loan officer about a 2 to 4 family property, you're going to start discussing the potential rents of unit 2, 3, 4, and that loan officer is going to start calculating the possible income that either exists on the home or would exist if you're going to rent out the units, and they'll put that into their qualification. But from a normal pre-qual standpoint, it's still the same. You're going to speak to a loan officer, you're going to provide them with your income, assets, credit, go over your information. The only difference is going to be specifically about the rents on the property. So the best thing to do is speak to a loan officer as well as your realtor.
Okay. And I get like this type of property, and buying this type of property creates a great circumstance for a lot of people, because again, they get to live in one of the units and use the other, whether it be other 2, 3 units to rent out and use that as investment or passive income, and really their purchasing power increases versus if you're just buying one type of property that only has one unit, because again, the lender, like you said, uses the income that's going to come out of that as part of to get you qualified.
Absolutely. In DC, where the prices are high and the market is very competitive, this is a great opportunity to qualify for a larger loan amount. But yet, when you come up with your net mortgage after you make your mortgage payment and subtract the rents, you're going to end up with a much lower mortgage payment because the other units are going to be subsidizing your home. It's a great opportunity for someone who's looking to invest but also wants to live in a home at the same time.
Yeah, again, it's a great opportunity, and if you're able to do it, it's definitely, I think, worthwhile. I wanted to do this video because a lot of people seem to be interested in it, at least provide that information. So Mike, thank you so much for that information.